So, hi, it's Orva for our yoga class today. And today we're going to be working on balance. And warning, I'm terrible at balance. So, you'll get to laugh and see how somebody struggles with it. And that's okay because we all have things we're not really good at. And that's how we get strong, is trying to do things maybe that are a little bit of a struggle for us. So, we're going to go ahead now and get things going. And for this, I'm going to talk a little bit at first about your sense of balance. So there's three things in our peripheral body that help us balance. One of them is our vision. Another one is what they call proprioception. So that sensation you have of your feet on your floor. So if you struggle, you might even want to step, if you off your mat, onto like some solid floor if that's available to you. The other one is your inner ear, and your inner ear kind of tells your body, how you're positioned in space. And all three of those help us balance. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to do two balance poses, and I'm going to give us a little we'll do a first pose that gets us into the position for that balance. So the first one we're going to do is airplane pose, and this is actually a variation on Warrior 3. If you're really fabulous at balancing and do Warrior 3, you're welcome to do that. But we're going to do the little easier version because I have terrible balance. So this is how we're going to get started. So we're going to start out in a crescent lunge to get us in position. And I'm going to kind of stand. I'm going to probably stand at a little bit of an angle at times just so you could kind of maybe see what I'm doing. So you're going to start out kind of maybe near the front of your mat if you're on the mat. And I'm going to do my left leg first because that's my bad leg. So you get to see the lousy one first. So I'm going to step my right leg back. And we want to have our feet. We're coming into crescent lunge. So people get confused between Warrior 1 and crescent lunge. So crescent lunge, you want your feet to be parallel. Think standing on railroad tracks. And both sets of toes are pointed straight forward, kind of in a 12 o'clock position. So in crescent lunge, it is a lunge. And that back heel is up. It's elevated. The front leg, you're going to bend that knee a little bit. Walk it out if you need to. Press down into your heel because that's going to engage your butt muscles and make you stronger. And when we do this, and then the other thing you're going to do is bring your little airplane wings out. Now, if you're a little better, you can always be a jet instead of an airplane and bring your arms back, but I like them out because this is hard for me. Now, you want your hips squared forward. The reason I have the toes forward and the hips forward is because we want our hips parallel to the floor when we come up. People have a tendency, especially a lot of ballet dancers, to want to open this hip up as they come into this. And then you're not doing Warrior 3. So your shoulders and your hips should be parallel to the floor. So here we are. We got our little airplane wings out, and I want you to look out ahead of you. Find a point that's not moving to focus your vision on. This will help you stay steady. You're going to start to slowly move your weight onto this forward leg, coming forward, and you're going to start to lift that back leg and straighten that front knee. And look, I'm already coming wobble, 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 because this is my bad leg. Toes pointing straight down, and here we are, doing the best. If you fall out of it, just come back up into it. You're strengthening all these little muscles down here that wrap around your ankle and down into your foot that help you balance. And those tend to be weak, and there's not like some magic machine in the gym that automatically strengthens those. So don't worry when you struggle with that one. So let's come down, shake that leg, and we're going to do the other leg now to get a second chance. So here we are again. We are in our nice little parallel position. Step back now. I'm stepping my left leg back here. So I'm stepping it back. I'm in my crescent lunge. My feet are wide so that I have that balance. So don't do it like you're on a balance beam. You're wide, you're on those railroad tracks, toes are pointing forward. You're finding your spot to gaze at out ahead of you. Bring your little old airplane wings out. Again, start to shift that weight forward onto that front leg, pressing that heel down so it's stable and strong. Then straightening that knee, whoops, and falling all over because I have bad balance. But this is how I've actually gotten better in the last few years. There we go. Now I got it. It's happening. And that's how we get stronger in our balance. It's like one of those, just by doing it over and over and over again. I had this illness 20 years ago and lost all my muscle mass. And this is one of the things that I have not gotten all the way back yet. It's gotten better, but it hasn't come back all the way. Next thing we are going to work on is called half moon. And this is the one where we might want some props. So I will show you how to do it with both of them. And again, we're going to do a preliminary pose first to get us started. So our body is kind of in the right position, just right from the get-go. And one of the things, in fact, I'm going to bring my little chair, my little block down at this end, so I'm ready to go. One of the things with this one, so the last one, the airplane, our hips were like parallel to the floor. This one's going to be just the opposite. That's kind of why I like to pair these two together. You're going to be turning to the side and you're going to be trying to stack your hips. So where I told you to have your toes pointing to the floor for that one, this one you're going to try to rotate your toes towards the ceiling as we come up, and that will open your hips out and kind of get you sideways. So let's get this one started. Here we are. This time we're going to start in Warrior 2. So Warrior 2, we're getting in kind of a lunge position here. But this time that back leg is down on the floor. People tend to try to do it all the way parallel with the back of the mat. You don't really want a sharp T position. You want those toes to come slightly forward. And your hips are naturally going to kind of turn, would be towards at an angle, almost sort of like you were coming to the front corner of your mat visually. Here we are. So we are in, this is our Warrior 2. We come out with those arms. We've got our hips slightly out to the side. Now this is where I'm going to give you a couple little hints to do this easier. And I'm going to show you the first one with the block. If you want to use the block and or the chair, and again, if you're not real flexible, it'll make it easier. You want that block or the chair to kind of be off to the side again, not right in front like a balance beam, because you're not going to be able to balance well. The other thing with this that people tend to do is they put the block right close to their foot. But for this pose, you want your torso to be stretched out, extended to its full length. So you want the block to be kind of far out there because we're going to get ourselves up onto our hand. So here we are. We are in our Warrior 2. Now that block, you can bring it down onto the floor. And before you do anything else, I want you to turn your gaze to the side, to look at a wall out there and find that focus point. People look at their hand while they're coming up, and then they try to turn their head to look at the wall, and they wobble all over. So it's a lot easier if you turn your head in advance. So the weight has come forward now onto that front leg. You can bring this arm up. Some people do it here. I like it up because I need all the help I can get. Start to shift the weight onto this front leg, and you're going to bring this back leg up. Rotate those toes towards the ceiling if you can. This is what gives you that nice opening of your hips, and this is half moon. I'm going to now show you the chair quickly. And the only thing with the chair is you don't have to go down quite as far. So again, it's off to the side and back your foot's back a little bit, you would again come into your position. Put your hand just on the seat of the chair and give it a nice lift, and up you go. And here we are. We got our half moon. Bingo. Nice. Let me show you. We'll do on the other side now. And I'm just going to move. Let's see. I'll have the block to give you the little visual, but we don't have to do that. I like to actually put my hand on the floor, but that's me. I'm a little more flexible in the hips. So here we go on the other side. So we're coming back into our warrior two. So remember, your heel kind of lines up at about the instep of that back foot. That set of toes kind of angles in just a little bit. That makes your hips kind of at an angle in relation to your body. You've got that front knee starting to bend. Remember, you want to reach out pretty far and a little off to the side. So going ahead now and sinking into this leg, bringing that hand down. Once you get your hand down, whether it's on a block or on the floor or anywhere else here, turn your gaze to the side and find your focus point. And then we straighten and come up, rotate those toes towards the ceiling, and that's our half moon. And now I'm gonna come out, and that's our balance poses. Now I'm just gonna give you a couple fun things. When I took a workshop on balance poses. It was a whole day of struggling to balance and all kinds of different poses. And one of the things that we did that was kind of fun was we cut out a couple of those extra cues, like the vision and the proprioception in our feet. And believe me, it makes it much more challenging. So if you're somebody that this is like super easy and you want to kind of work on extending your ability to balance, let's say you can come up and balance and you could just stand there forever. You know, I used to be a dancer, and once upon a time I could do that. But a fun thing to do. So for instance, let's say you're in that half moon pose. Here we are, and you're up. If you want to add a little extra challenge here, once you get into the pose and you've got that gaze fixed, close your eyes. And all of a sudden, woo, you just feel yourself start to wobble all over the place. It makes a big difference, but it helps you because you're cutting out the vision. You're strengthening those other two remaining things that help you balance. The other fun thing we did is, and I gotta watch my time so I don't run over on us. Oh, perfect. I got time. Was we did the balances standing on a big pile of blankets. Now, I just have a little beach towel here, so it's kind of minimal. I'm not going to be doing nearly as much as we did in the workshop, but we actually did the balances standing on a pile of several blankets. She actually let us come over by the wall because there were so many blankets. And it really makes a difference when it's all cushy like that. So again, you know, you're here, you're doing your usual thing. And when you come up onto those thicker balances, all of a sudden you're losing a lot of that proprioception, that contact between the nerve endings on the bottom of your foot and that floor. And it could be, again, a really great extra challenge if you want to maybe get a little stronger in your legs and stronger in your sense of balance. So I hope you had some fun with our balance today. And I want to thank you guys because I had fun for our program. And thanks a lot.